Hello, my name is Vyhn, and welcome to the Story Corner of the Academy. You can use my guided imageries to help focus and calm your mind. My guided imageries are all written by me and are written with the intention of stimulating your curiosity with a genuinely interesting story. These stories are written with descriptive adjectives and adverbs so you are able to practice mindfulness while using your imagination. To get the most out of these stories, I first want you to prepare your environment, your mind, and your body. To feel fully enveloped by the story, it is best if you eliminate distractions from your environment. Try to find a quiet place you won't be disturbed. Next, make sure your physical body is comfortable. Tune into your senses and try to be aware of anything physically bothering you, like tight clothing or an uncomfortable sitting or lying position. Lastly, before we begin, try to slow your thoughts. It is common for our minds to wander more frequently while listening to guided imageries. Take some time to be aware of your consciousness and what you are directing your attention to. In your mind, firmly decide you are going to try your best to pay attention and use your imagination to its fullest. Let's begin. You find yourself surrounded by a rocky mountain path. The path is a dull gray with hints of brown dirt scattered throughout the gravel. The path is laid into a reddish-brown dirt forest floor. The red color is brought up from dead red pine needles fallen from tall, rusty-colored pine trees strewn around the mountain. A cool breeze passes the area, gently moving your hair. The air is crisp, but doesn't make you uncomfortable. You hear the wind brush through the trees and short shrubbery lining the path you are on. You stand still and look around. You take a moment to admire the amazing view. You look down the path you just walked up. You see the path leading back down the mountain into a gorgeous green valley with a curvy river running throughout the middle. The river looks no bigger than a pencil width at this distance because it is so far away. A haze also fills the air, blurring and softening the edges of anything distant. After becoming satisfied with the view you just experienced, you turn back around and continue up the path. As you walk, you notice the sounds your feet make against the gravel path. You look down and watch your feet as you take each step. The gravel moves slightly as your shoe presses into the earth, making a light crunching sound. You look back up and around as you walk. Everything else around you is calm and quiet. No birds or other animals can be heard. All you can hear is the wind in the trees and your feet on the path. After a turn in the path, you look up and see the shape of a square structure in between a clearing and the trees, about half a mile up ahead. As you study the structure, you can make it out to be a small wooden cabin. Immediately, the cabin piques your interest. From this distance, you can see it's a small, brown, wooden log building with a dark brown triangular roof. After inspecting the cabin for a moment, a sudden feeling comes over you. You feel a rush of clarity and determination. You pause and squint your eyes, determined. You need to learn more about that cabin. You start on the path again, slightly quicker in your pace after this newfound goal. As you briskly walk, you feel the cool air glide across your face. You round a corner in the path again and feel the hint of clarity you felt earlier. Another feeling comes over you, this time the feeling that you are missing something, like you accidentally skipped over something. You get the sense to look around. You stop walking and pause to scan the beautiful landscape again. You collect yourself and take a deep breath. You let the deep breath calm your body. After slowing your energy down, you notice small flecks of purple sprinkled throughout the mountain forest floor. You spot one speckle nearby and kneel down to inspect it closer. As you crouch down, you see it's a small purple flower, no bigger than a quarter. The whole plant is quite delicate. The flower bulb is held up by a thin green stem with a few elegant leaves branching off as the plant rises a few inches from the earth. After inspecting it briefly, you notice the petals give off a slight glow. The purple flower gives off an almost magical feeling. You bend down, bringing your nose to the flower to smell it. You find it difficult to describe the scent, but it's a sweet and calming fragrance. It smells almost like lavender, but lighter and possibly more citrusy. After figuring out the flower in your head, you find it difficult to comprehend. As you focus on it, you feel a mysterious aura that seems to shift in and out of reality. You look up and around at the other purple flowers further off. You notice there is a heavier density of these flowers further up the path. You get the feeling the cabin will give you more answers about these flowers. With your curiosity reinvigorated, you continue on the path. This time, as you keep walking along the path, you stay quite mindful of all the plants around you. You pay attention through your peripheral vision to each purple flower, small green bush, and tall red tree as you pass them by. As you do so, you round another corner in the path and see a small movement to the left in a nearby bush. You slow down and focus your eyes on the bushes around you as you see more rustling. You slow your pace and squint your eyes trying to see better into the bushes. You keep walking when all of a sudden a bush in front of you rustles and out waddles a small, tan-brown furry animal. It takes you a second to identify the animal. The creature is about the size of a bunny. On the animal's face is a dark brown, leathery bill similar to a duck. The animal also has a flat, dark brown tail similar to a beaver. You are slightly shocked to recognize it's a platypus. The platypus stops in the path in front of you and stands up on 2 feet and looks at you. It tilts its head in curiosity toward your direction. You mirror its head tilt as well and study the small creature. This platypus also seems to give off that magical purple aura that the flowers did earlier. After a second, the platypus sniffs the air and turns back in the direction it was heading and scurries off into the bushes. You continue on the path, quite excited with all the magic going on around you. As you keep walking, you continue to notice how peaceful and calm this mountain path is. The air is cool, but not sharp or frigid. You continue to take deep breaths and stay focused on your walk. You round another corner of the path, and about 20 feet off to the side of the path lies a small pond no larger than a house. You see dozens of platypuses around the pond. Surrounding the pond are tons of magical purple flowers. You see different platypuses tending to the flowers, inspecting the petals, and removing twigs and weeds from the area. You are amazed at the wonder in front of you. Never would you expect to see magical glowing flowers being tended to by platypuses in the mountains. You find a nearby log and sit down as you take in the scene before you. This whole pond seems to shift in and out of reality. You remember to stay calm and take deep breaths. As you focus on your breathing, you notice the pond become more and more clear. This truly is a wonderful place. You take some time here to look around the path again, and you notice the tall trees and how the cool air smells like fresh nature. You look up the mountain and see that the cabin is quite close now. Only a couple more minutes of walking before you reach it. You take one last look at the pond and decide to continue towards the cabin. You take a deep breath and continue up the path. After a minute, you notice the path changes from a gravel to a clean cobblestone path. You can tell someone has taken great care of this path. You see a platypus up ahead, clearing stray twigs and grass that have blown over the path. You smile at the sight. You enjoy seeing a little creature so determined to keep something nice and tidy. As you keep walking, you feel the air change. The air feels dense but calm. You don't notice the wind rushing through the trees as much. It has become quiet. You notice that even the nearby platypuses are walking lighter. You change your pace as well. You try to carefully meet each step of the path with your foot on the cobblestone in a way that doesn't make a sound. After a minute of walking on the cobblestone path, you look up to see the path turn into steps following an incline up to the small wooden structure you have been adventuring towards. Before advancing up the steps, you notice a serene peace is evident in the area surrounding the cabin. Studying the cabin briefly, you can tell the building is small enough to only house a few rooms, including a small upstairs. There are a few dusty windows cropped out of the log cabin walls, but you can't make out anything about the inside. You see a small triangular roof near the top of the cabin where the triangular roof meets. An eerie feeling comes over you as you think you see a shadow move on the inside of the cabin from the small triangle window. As you ponder the possibility of that suspicious movement, another calming feeling flows over you. Where normally you may have psyched yourself out of exploring more, you feel a certain confidence that propels you forwards. There absolutely is an unknown magic about this cabin. You follow the steps as it leads to a wooden door. There is a black metal handle on the door which seems to push inwards. You approach the door, and as you reach for the handle, you feel your heartbeat quicken. You reach for the handle and grip it with your right hand. The metal of the handle is cool. You feel a sort of magical tingling dance from the handle in through your hand and up your arm. You try the handle, but the door is stuck. You feel sort of fuzzy, but then remember something. You take in a slow, deep breath. You feel something shift. You feel close to obtaining some clarity about the door. You take another slow, intentional breath. This breath unlocks something in your body. A rushing, cooling, enlightening feeling fills your head and moves throughout your body, down your stomach and back, out your arms, down your legs, and through your feet. You feel shivers tingle throughout your body. After this tingling feeling settles, you reach for the door, and just before your hand reaches the door, you hear a solid click. The door unlocks. You push on the door, and it slowly swings open, revealing the inside of the cabin. You take a step in. The cabin is only dimly lit by the soft, white, cloudy sunlight streaming through the windows. Directly to the left of the entrance is a wall with 2 doors leading to other rooms inside the cabin. To the right seems to be a common area connected to a kitchen. After gathering your surroundings inside the cabin, you feel strongly pulled to one of the rooms on the left. You start walking steadily over to the closest door. You hear the old wooden boards underneath you creaking as you pass over them. The air is still inside the cabin. You push open the already ajar door and walk into what seems to be a study. You see bookshelves lining the walls. In the corner of the room is a desk. Above the desk is a window letting in more soft sunlight. Once again you feel pulled, this time towards the desk. As you get closer, you see the desk is scattered with books and papers. You stand over the desk and feel pulled to a certain book. You take the book in your hands. You feel the soft leather binding of the book. The leather is stained black, and at the top of the cover is writing in some language you have never recognized. The letters are written in thread. Your head gets fuzzy again as you try to read the writing. You take another deep, intentional breath. You feel another calm wave rush over you, and you notice the foreign writing starts to change. If you focus, you can read the cover says Journal. Feeling excited, you open the journal, turning to the first page. As you open the book, though, the book magically flips its pages to a certain entry. As this happens, you feel that magical pull that brought you to this cabin finally satisfy. You take a deep breath again as you see only part of the journal you are able to read. Only one section of the magical writing is legible. You sit down in the leather chair in front of the desk and calm yourself before starting to read. Colors, colors, colors. Why can't they understand that colors are great things? I spoke to that infuriating council today about my studies. I told them all my research concludes that color is fuel for happiness. I suggested allocating resources for my experiment, bringing color to the Capitol Garden. But no, they wouldn't even bat an eye. That depressive council is starving this land of beauty. I don't care. I will continue my experiments without their permission. Someday, I will bring the whole world into color. You are in awe of what you just read. You set the book down and lean back in the leather chair. You notice your heart rate has sped up slightly from reading such an exciting entry. You take a few deep breaths to calm down again. A world without color, you think? I wonder how long ago this was. You look out the window and take some time to be thankful for the color in the world around you. You notice the dark, rich green of the pine needles of the trees outside, and the dark brown of the bark. You scan the room and notice the many different colors of the book bindings lining the wall. You lift your hands up and turn them over. You are thankful for the color of your skin. You take another deep breath and decide to try reading some more. You lift up the book again as the pages magically flip themselves to a new entry. Once again, only one section of the journal is readable. You take another deep breath. This time, it is much easier to calm yourself. The next entry reads, My experiment was a success. I created this extremely saturated purple pigment. It took so many iterations, but I was never able to create a stable material. My solution was infusing the pigment with magical essence to keep the color stable. My next experiment will be combining the pigment with other materials to see if I can create a viable dye. The entry finishes, and you think back to the purple flowers you saw earlier. You are quite eager to learn more about the author's studies. You turn back to the book, as once again the pages magically flip to a new entry. It reads, I was sold out. My apprentice betrayed me. I thought they would be different, but no. I had to destroy all my research and flee in a hurry. I escaped to the wilderness outside Targon. I have set up a crude camp and am currently riding while trying to hide. This world isn't for me. A world without color is one I don't want to live in. My current plan is to escape to the mountains outside Phandalin, where there is a hidden ancient portal I stumbled upon in my youth. Perhaps if I figure out how to repair the portal, I can escape to a new land that might accept me. You are immediately intrigued by the speak of a portal. One thing is certain about this journal. You would love to meet whoever wrote it. You gaze back at the book, where once again the pages flip to another entry. It reads, I am in tears as I write. This new land is beautiful. Never had I imagined what an entire world would look like filled with color. This land is not much different than my own. Although this world is beautiful, I am afraid I don't see any sign of other intelligent life. I brought with me some of my supplies and furry companions, but loneliness is settling in. I have no time to think of my social dilemma. I must create a home here in this wonderful land. No council to deal with. Hooray! You find a smile has crept over your face as you finish the entry. You are happy about the conclusion to this wizard's story. You remind yourself to take a few deep breaths before returning to the book. Just as expected, the book flips its pages, but this time it opens to the next blank entry. You look confused at the book. As you do so, you hear a board creak behind you, and you jump and turn around to see a silhouetted figure standing in the doorway. The end.